U.S. Africa Command is charged with executing our mission, which expands from deterring threats on the African continent, gaining access and influence, and being able to respond to crisis. We do this through partnering with our African partners, with African partners leading and us enabling. Back in 2008, Islamic jihadists on the global scene, only 4% was on the African continent. Now that number is up to 40%. So in executing AFRICOM's mission of being able to provide indications and warnings, monitor and respond, is all for protection of the homeland. When we look at the threat of the People's Republic of China, we know that they are exploitative where possible and coercive when necessary, when they engage with across the continent through the Belt and Road Initiative first. But sometimes they have aspirations of military capacity and capability. They already have a base at Doralay in Djibouti. Time will tell what their overall aspirations are. Will it be power projection? Or will it be air denial and defense? We don't know. Right now, they say it's for counter-piracy. So we are monitoring all the time of what the PRC's overall global intentions are in the strategic realm. Let me turn to the Russian Federation. Yes, in the last few years, we saw the activities of Wagner encroaching upon a number of African countries, and then sowing the seeds of disinformation, trying to get to be the security partner of choice in a number of these countries, across the Sahel, all the way down to the Central African Republic, and as far north as Libya. So through their disinformation campaigns, it has evolved into the sponsorship of the Russian MOD after the demise of Evgeny Prigozhin. So we're seeing that, and we monitor that on a full basis to identify what the overall strategic imperatives or aspirations of the Russian Federation. And we're closely monitoring activities by Iran. What the U.S. needs to do, we need to increase our information operations. We need to be able to match what our assurance actions are, especially whole of government approach in being able to partner with our African partners, addressing some of their challenges that extend from climate change through violent extremist organization. That we have the overall value proposition by being able to harvest our shared values and shared objectives of stability and security. I think that our assurance actions and what we offer holistically across State Department and diplomacy, across USAID and development, across the Department of Defense and building partnership and capacity of their security forces is the whole enduring solution, especially when we're talking about violent extremist organizations. About Niger and about our repositioning and moving of our equipment and assets out of Niger, we're on pace. And I think that I'm sure that we're going to keep reaching those benchmarks. Our withdrawal out of there will be responsible, and first and foremost, safety of our troops is first and foremost, but a responsible and orderly withdrawal that's agreed by both the U.S. government and the transitional government, the CNSP in Niger, has been agreed upon. I think we'll hit all those benchmarks and requirements. What we're looking at across West Africa, I would like to just go there as far as our overall adjustment of our strategy. Our strategy is going to be holistically across the Sahel, extending into West Africa, namely because it's informed by the threat. I've done a number of visits across coastal West Africa, and all of them saying that the threat is in their northern borders. And they are extending out for us what type of security cooperation type assistance they need. And we all know that this is going to be African-led. So they're specifying. But I don't measure thing in future footprint. You know, they're looking at capabilities and capacity, and so are we, to get an enduring solution. But I will tell you, this strategy encompasses a whole of government approach. All those, whether I'm talking to the presidents or the MODs, the ministries of defense, or the chiefs of defense, they know it's a whole of government approach on their end too. They're willing to lead this, but they're on the cusp of specifying what exactly they need as for security cooperation. They know that holistically across their governance, that is going to have to culminate into activities and investments on their accord to be able to achieve these objectives with our help or enablers. As far as what we had in Air Base 201 or 101, you know, that was based on the news, based on the needs in the last decade. Where we're going now, as far as what our strategy calls for, is double down in security cooperation activities, such as security force assistance brigades, such as state partnership programs, or all the exercises that we do to be able to build partnership and capacity. We're not going to measure that in our capabilities. However, I will say that some of these countries across coastal West Africa, we're in talks, but it's in the State Department realm, and also the DOD realm, as far as what that's going to equate to as far as assets or capabilities that they need to be able to fight their own fight against violent extremist organizations on their northern borders. The Africa Chiefs of Defense Conference is here in Gaborone, Botswana. Is the first time this conference has been on the continent. I made a request of our African partner last year. I say that, you know, when we execute our African campaign plan and our engagements with African countries, we know that it needs to be African-led to be compelling enough to address some of the challenges across the continent. Botswana stepped up and says, hey, yes, I agree. We want to co-host this conference for you. So that shows that it's going to be African-led and U.S. enabled as we address the major challenges and security challenges across the continent, not just across the Sahel, but other places across the continent. All those with the shared values and shared objectives in addressing the security challenges, but also the opportunities across their whole of government. That's going to be tabled in our discussion in the next couple of days. And they're going to be able to, I'm on a listening tour, but they're going to be giving their recommendations and tabling them for discussion. There's going to be 30 countries there. So that shows our ability to be able to convene a number of countries that have our same interests and our same objectives to be able to deter threats and solve challenges that are keeping the countries from regressing to stability and prosperity.